As the helicopter races through the jet black sky, it slowly descends and emerges from the cloud cover that prevents others from not noticing it. I can't help but worry as I looked at my reflection in the window and back at the terminal in front of me. The terminal displays a connection lost icon. I sigh, then try to re-establish the communication link. Rosa, do you read me? Come in, Elmo. However, the only thing I hear from my earpiece is the hissing of static. I have been trying to contact them throughout the entire flight, but I haven't been able to get through so far. I clench my fist and glance unhappily at the hovering dandy gate. Didn't you say you could maintain comms with the Elmo no matter the distance? So the nearby signal markers have all been destroyed. Considering the scale of the enemy attack Rosa mentioned, that's definitely a possibility. It also means the opposition prepared their ambush well, while they're going up against the Elmo. I can't underestimate the reaction speed of these black armored Mangai security troopers. I looked out the window at the ground below. The pass I told the Elmo to head toward is right below us. I head over to the cockpit where Sharkry and Santoresi are sitting in the pilot and co-pilot seats. Sharkry, descend to 200 meters and then maintain a altitude. Have the helicopter's rocket pod been loaded? Good. Santoresi, when we fly above the pass, try to use the vehicle radio to establish comms at short range. It's alright, they won't be able to respond. The helicopter soars through the air above the pass, and I can see quite a number of ant-like vehicles swarming the entrance. There are intermittent flashes of light in the settlement. At the mouth of the pass, there are people changing fire, and it's plain to see that our people are among them. Looking further into the distance, I see the MBV crawling along as it trails a huge plume of black smoke. It's traveling slowly, but it's already drawn away from the firefight. Santoresi turns on the radio, and I begin hailing it. Soon I hear Mei Ling's voice amidst the noise. Mei Ling, do you read me? Calm down, Mei Ling. What's happening now? Okay. So they saw through it, huh? Can you contact Rosa? I'll go back them up. You keep driving the Elmo and don't stop for anything. Got that? Leave it to me. I put down the handset and return to the passenger's cabin. I look around at the dolls holding their weapons and ammo, then begin handing out combat assignments. Diane, Jiangyu, Dahui, Santoresi, you'll be forming a squad to assist and relieve Rosa's team. You already know who Rosa is. The other 3 members of her team are a doll with bunny ears, a doll with a purple cape, and a doll with a Pizarus backpack. You should be able to recognize them at a glance. Don't get stuck in with the enemy. Find them and bring them back to the chopper ASAP. Colvin, you're in charge of protecting Melanie. Do not leave her side for a moment. Are you alright with that, Melanie? Alright, prepare to move out. Head back to the cockpit, instructing Sharkry to overfly the firefight. Once we're above it, I point out a largely intact building, and Sharkry immediately picks up on what I want and descends. Let's go. Santoresi and Diane open the hatches on their respective sides of the chopper, and a ferocious downwash screams in front outside. From outside, the dolls stand by the open doors, while Colvin shields Melanie from the howling winds with her body. The helicopter nears the target building. The dolls jump out when it's roughly 10 meters above the roof. Jiangju does a magnificent flip in mid-air before touching down. Diane, who has touched down alongside her, glances at her sister before approaching her. The dolls dart into the building and the helicopter pulls up again as it heads towards the mouth of the pass. Looks like it's about time. From the co-pilot seat, I see multiple IFs working their way through the town area. They're driving single file towards the Elmo, the perfect opportunity for us. Sharkery, target this road and blow up all those ifs to scrap. The helicopter adjusts its position as it hovers, then plunges in for a strafing run. Rockets scream out of their pods in rapid succession, and explosions erupt along the length of the road, turning the ifs into burning wrecks. Nice picture. Rosa feels her frame hit the ground hard with a dull thud. In the wake of the deafening explosions, the walls of the pass crumble and the ruined buildings nearby collapse, engulfing the fleeing Mangai security troopers. She can hear their screams. She can see the mangled remains of humans that have been blasted into gory chunks, and she can feel their hot blood raining down on her. But wait a minute. Didn't she just... Rosa thinks back to what she was doing before she found herself collapsed on the ground. Do dolls feel like this after they blow themselves up? It doesn't seem any different from normal. She recalled a time when scientific advancements in this world was still limited, and humans believed that after death they would become something called ghosts, entities left behind after one's death. Then, is she some kind of data ghost now? Rosa lies motionless, trying to clear her head. In her recollection, she was preparing to press the button on her detonator, but then the ifs before her suddenly explode and the massive shockwave sent her flying. Rosa looks down at her right hand. The detonator is still there, but she did not press it. Then what was that explosion just now? Before she can think about it, the sound of more gunfire and explosions comes from the other side of the rubble. Kaboom. Looks like the opposition hasn't given up yet. They're trying to blast a hole in the debris and falling rock blocking the path. So the troops outside can get inside and continue fighting. Once again, there is another deafening explosion. Rockets and debris fly everywhere, and the blocked passage shows signs of clearing. Another one, and kaboom. The rubble blocking the path is completely blown away. She can hear Mangai troopers approaching so close that she can see their gray helmets through the breach. Is this the end? No, not yet. Bullets suddenly fly past her, accurately striking the Mangai troopers in the head. Shocked, Rosa looks back and sees the dolls rushing out of the smoke and running to her side. Miss Rosa, are you alright? Are you the reinforcements sent by the commander? Miss Rosa, do you remember me? Yes, I am Master. Yes, I am. Master sent me to help you withdraw. Where are the other dolls? They're there behind me, fighting in the streets. They're engaging with the enemy. They need backup. Understood, Miss Diane. Please take Monsoon Squad and reinforce the other dolls. I'll help evacuate Miss Rosa. Understood. We leave these things on this side to you. Please stay still, Miss Rosa. You've sustained severe damage to your frame. I'll drag you out of there. Did she just teleport out? Nemesis, what happened to you to your cover fire? Part lost and hidden friends. What do you mean you ran out of ammo and now of all times? Get it together already. Are the dolls approaching us from over there? They're fast. Are they enemies? Don't shoot, we're friendlies. Are you dolls from the Elmo? Yes, we are. We're from Monsoon Squad. The commander sent us to back you up. We'll be covering your withdrawal. So the commander sent you. But leader's still out there. Our teammate will bring her back. Let's take care of the enemies in front of us first, shall we? Sounds great. Time to give those bastards a spanking. What? Red-haired woman anxiously studies the messages on the screen, not even realizing that her cigarette has almost burnt itself out. Half of the ifs she sent into the town have been destroyed. The other half have been wedged outside by falling rocks and rubble. Meanwhile, there is a ceaseless stream of casualties reports from other Omen forces. Just now, the dolls that jumped out of the helicopter that completely eliminated any chance she had of wiping out those encircled dolls. That helicopter had shown up with incredible timing and practically destroyed her entire deployment in an instant. Could it be that the fleeing MVP had only been a decoy? Was she the one being ambushed all along? The confidence she had started with crumbles in an instant, and Lantine can't help but wonder if there's a bigger trap waiting for her behind all this. Any other person would probably not be able to do it, but she can't even begin to imagine what kind of strategies that man who came back from Frankfurt can employ. Lantine's underestimation of him has already cost her dearly, and right now she knows that her only choice is no choice at all. Kenny angrily punches his seat before leaving the ifs. He doesn't look back. It is only now that Lantine notices the burning pain at her fingertips. She clicks her tongue and drops the cigarette butt. Its lingering heat scorched a black edge circle on her intelligence report. On the intelligence report laying on the floor of the vehicle, Lantine picks it up, preparing to throw the pages that made her lose so much out of the vehicle. However, her hand stops halfway, and Lantine instead throws the report back on the ground. There is a strange feeling in her heart. It's been there for a full 10 years. appearing in her dreams, showing up whenever she doubts herself, forcing her to find all kinds of excuses for her actions in order to get it under control. As it is, she can no longer hold it back. The feeling that utterly denies all the choices she has made, an emotion that completely crushes her soul into the dirt. How is it that he can still beat me, even after falling so far? Why would he give up on everything even when he's this capable? It makes no sense. She has to ask him and find the answer to that question. Valentine grabs her gun and stands up, throwing open the IFV's hatch. She clenches her fist, driving her nails so deeply into her palm that blood begins welling up and dripping from her hand. Things shouldn't be this way. Come on, load up. Monsoon Squad brings the Elmo dolls to the roof of a nearby building. As the helicopter slowly touches down, I open the hatch so the dolls can rush inside. Diane and the others bring Krolik, Valplay, and Nemesis with them into the helicopter, which makes the passenger compartment feel a little cramped. Dahui and Jianggu reflexively take up position on the edges of the cabin, guns raised and scanning their surroundings. They're old friends. Where's Groza? I look down, but there's no sign of them. I pick up the handset and hail Centeresi. Centeresi, where are you? Who? Find a way to indicate your location. I hear a magazine change over the transmission. Shortly afterwards, I see a stream of tracer rounds hurtle into the sky. I immediately point it that direction and order Sharpie to dust off. Once we reach the area above the tracers, I can clearly make out Centeresi and Groza fighting off the enemy from behind cover. Jiangyu and Zahui immediately rake the enemy support weapons with gunshots, and the suppressive fire from the distance eases off. Centeresi looks up at the helicopter and takes advantage of the lull in the shooting to grab Rosa and head for the nearest roof. A pair of missiles fly toward the helicopter, but fortunately, Sharkey has been slowly orbiting the site and dodges them. Diane moves up to the doorway and joins the other dolls in suppressing the source of those rockets. Meanwhile, I get Sharpie to rapidly descend and get as close to the building's edge as possible. Just as the helicopter levels out, Centeresi appears on the roof, carrying Groza. She widens her steps and picks up speed, jumping off the roof with Groza. The two of them slams into the helicopter like a cannonball. Fortunately, the other dolls help them soften the impact. Diane helps Centeresi lay Groza on the cabin floor, while Jiangju immediately closes the hatch. Seeing that everyone is aboard, Chakri immediately climbs into the air, beating a hasty retreat while being pursued by more rockets. The helicopter flies toward the Elmo. Fortunately, the roof landing pad isn't too badly damaged. Chakri lands the chopper on the Elmo. The dolls dismount, waiting for further instructions. I look into the distance. The Elmo is clearly it's clear of that ruined town, and the enemy shows no intentions of continuing the pursuit. I sigh in relief, then turn my attention back to the dolls. Rosa's frame is riddled with shrapnel. Frolic and Nemesis are carefully unloading her from the helicopter. Rosa, are you alright? It was my fault for coming back late. Don't speak. You need repairs. Rosa nods and closes her eyes. I hear the chime of the hangar elevator nearby, and Mei Ling rushes out as the door opens. Rosa shakes her head but does not respond. Mei Ling, you have done a great job. Now I need you to do a little more. With Mei Ling urging them on, Frolic and Nemesis help Rosa to the repair bay. I hope it's just surface level damage. We'll have to wait for Mei Ling to finish running a diagnostics. Speaking of diagnostics, why don't you give Melanie a checkup? After that, we can get her a room to rest in. Melanie glances at me, then obediently follows Colfin down the stairs. I have Velply give the other dolls a tour of the Elmo, which also includes performing a damage assessment of the stricken areas. I head back to the ops room. Thanks to the recent attack, it's a total mess. Glass panels have been broken and fragments are everywhere. I can't help but sigh as I think about how the Elmo had just been repaired not long ago, only for it to be reduced to this state once again. I sit back down in my chair. Who would have thought so many things would have happened in the course of just one day? The hitherto silent Dandy Gate flies above my head. Once again, Dandelion's smug voice rings out from above me. I can't help but be reminded of them. I reach up to grab the dandy gate above my head, but it nimbly evades my grasps. The dandy gate flies before me and projects Dandelion's face again. She is yawning and stretching lazily. So, were these events a coincidence that I couldn't read that fast, sorry. Oh, really? Anyway, about that data you found in that underground lab. Have you learned anything yet? Right? Sorry. What? However, how could I ever? Rosa and the others were attacked on the road to get them. They were probably the same people as the ones who attacked 404. Well, we'll tell Kalin about this afterwards. However, we have been cut off since just now. We can't contact anyone, be they 404 or Lena. You mean? Dandelion points to the ops room's main terminal. Suddenly, it buzzes with a comms request. I glance at Dandelion and then I warily put it through. For a moment, I am not sure how to answer. There's a look of doubt on my face as I listen to the voice on the line. There's a brief burst of noise. The video window dissolves into static and then clears up. There is a man with his back to the camera. He seems to be banging on something. There's a burst of sparks and then the man throws his wrench aside and slowly turns around. As he does, the man's face is revealed by the cold light of the overhead fluorescent lamps. Wait a minute. Is that you, dear?